Jan, can you come see me? There's a thing.
Something you wanted to discuss with me? I wanted to congratulate you. On what? Having a smart me on board. Seriously? Yeah, I flipped through some manuals while you were sitting on your hands. Looks like we had the base operating in minimum maintenance mode. Oh? Yeah. But I played around with functionality options and, hey presto, we got some new handy toys unlocked. Tools in the workshop and such. Wow. Oh, thanks. I can't wait to check them out. No problem. There's also some upgrades available in the building module. Sound like something you like to play around with too? Sweet. We could do with some improvements here. Sure, but don't start fantasizing too much. Remember, everything costs resources. So, wherever we are and however long we're staying, it might just be wise to see if we can set up a mining outpost instead of relying on shallow deposits. Just in case. Sound advice. I'll consider. Hey, I found this. I brought it on this mission, but thought that maybe it could mean something to you too. My lucky old multi-tool. No wonder you took it with you. This little baby never ever let me down. Yep, I thought it might come in handy. Of course, every man of the house should have one. It sure helped me feel like one when the time came. Thanks, man. Another movie. Jeez, I packed a lot of stuff.
Out of storage space.
These loose rocks look like they might be passable. If only I had a tool to drill through them.
About time. I'm in some deep shit here.
So you're not at your destination yet?
I'm stuck. We're stuck. There's a freaking lava river blocking our way.
Do you think you can cross it?
I'm on it. Just need a little time.
Right. Well, I got in touch because I have some news for you. Good news and, well, just news.
Hit me with the good news first.
A rescue party is being organized.
Organized. You mean they're not on their way yet? What the hell are you waiting for?
Mr. Dosky, please, calm down. No matter how long the procession, it will always end up in church.
What?
Just the thing my grandma used to say when I was a kid and tired of doing my homework.
Except this is not about your homework.
Sure. But you gotta understand, your mission got dispatched pretty far away. We still haven't mastered teleport.
How long do you think it'll take them to get organized?
All I can say is, they know it's an emergency.
Wow. That long?
Don't shoot the messenger, man. I'm really trying to help.
I thought you were responsible for the navigation system. Isn't it your job to make sure we're safe wherever it sends us?
Well, that's what I'm doing right now, isn't it? Making sure you're safe. Step by step, we'll get your procession safely to church.
So, what's the other news?
Well, I know you have a lot on your plate right now, but there's a request from my boss directly. Before we get you out of there, we want you to retrieve as much Rapidium as possible.
Figures. They don't want to lose their chance. Probably worthless to your higher-ups without Rapidium anyway.
It's sure gonna give your rescue mission wings, if that's your kind of incentive.
Of course.
My boss will want to speak to you shortly. And you'll see how important it is. He's not some kind of empty three-piece suit if that's what you're afraid of.
I probably shouldn't be telling you this, but it was his idea to, you know, let you in on the branching procedure. By the way, is your altar doing any better?
Yeah. We're getting along pretty well now. Thanks.
That's very good to hear.
Is this about you wanting to talk to him again?
No. No, none of that. My boss put it out of my mind. That's not to mess things up even more.
So, you admit it's a mess.
What? No, we just... You know what? I'm not commenting on that. Talk to my boss about it.
What's gonna happen to my altars back on Earth?
I don't know. I'm sure my boss will think of something. He always knows what to do.
You either really trust him or you're very good at not saying anything.
Maybe both? I'm, not a natural talker.
Ever tried working on it? You know, with a professional?
Not really. But my sister wanted to be a therapist and she practiced on me when I was 5.
Oh? And how did that go?
She turned to breeding hamsters. I hope you're not laughing.
Tell me more about this boss of yours. You mention him a lot.
He's the head of mining operations. Great mind, very open. You'll see. Doesn't normally do this, you know. Talk to people on space missions in person.
Oh, I feel so blessed.
You should. He saved your life, in a way.
Your family seems interesting. Got any more stories about them?
It's a big family. Brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles. Yours?
I was the only child.
Wow. Can't imagine how that feels. Anyway, no time to talk about families now, right?
Okay. I better get back to work then.
Yes. Just remember about the Rapidian, Mr. Dulski. And wait for contact from my boss.
Is it me, or does it sound a bit artificial?
Evacuation functionality then. Procedure will be assessed as too risky.
Got a minute? We need to talk.
We're surrounded. Damn it. So much for Plan B.
Whoa, you look tired, man. Everything okay?
I don't know. Maybe it's got something to do with sleeping on the floor?
Oh, I Hadn't thought of that. Of course not. You have your cozy captain's bed. All right. No need to be so dramatic about it. I'll get you a proper dorm. Sounds like a promise. Okay. I went beyond the rocks. It doesn't look good. The lava river is vast as hell. I'll be straight with you. There's no way around it. Holy shit. What now? I guess we need to get across somehow. Any ideas up your smart-ass sleeve? So now I'm smart, huh? Well, actually, I do have an idea. We could build a research lab and see if we can come up with anything useful there. Okay, let's give it a go. Hey, I built that dormitory you asked for. Hallelujah. I hope you sleep well tonight. I'll sleep like a full-fledged member of an advanced civilization. Sweet dreams, then.
Jan Dolsky. Finally. I've been impatient to meet you.
Yeah, sure. You that big fish Lucas was mumbling about?
Terrence Maxwell. But yes, I am both his and your superior at mining operations. First of all, my heartfelt condolences. Losing the whole crew must have been hard on you.
Not really. Barely knew them.
Well, we are all grief-stricken down here. But also excited and proud of what you have achieved. I hope you grasp the significance of your discovery.
So, do people know I found Rupidium?
We're keeping the news within a very limited circle. It's only wise for the time being.
Limited circle, huh? Bullshit. The public has a right to know about such things.
I like your passion, Jan. You're an honest man. But you're under enough pressure already. We don't need the media to go berserk or the stock market to overreact. We don't need chaos down here while all our efforts should concentrate on supporting you up there. Your task is difficult enough, and failure is not an option.
That's why you had me create my altars? You'd rather let me lose my mind than lose the Rupidium?
It was a long shot, I admit. But we were saving both. Rupidium and you, Jan. Do you think it was a mistake?
I think you're bullshitting me. What if I hadn't found Rupidium? You'd never go to such lengths to save me, would you?
What if? People like to use that phrase a lot, don't they? Well, you can actually learn the answer to that question. Many would envy you.
Let's just get one thing straight, Maxwell. I know you expect things of me, but I'm no hero.
Ah, heroism. Are you familiar with the works of Albert Camus?
Albert who?
A great writer and philosopher. Camus believed heroism was easy, accessible. For him, it was living a normal man's life that was a true challenge. Being decent. Doing the right thing. You are the first person to prove that we can actually excavate Rupidium in quantities that can really make a difference. A dream the biggest corporations have been chasing for over a decade now. Constantly failing. You say you're not a hero? Well, maybe I don't need you to be one. Maybe you should just carry on being a decent man, Jan Dolsky.
Okay, you're buttering me up for something big here. Let's cut to the chase.
Hard-headed. I like that. You've probably noticed how different Rupidium looks in reality than on the training materials they showed you.
Why is that?
It changes form constantly. Its chemical structure is so volatile that it is almost impossible to capture two particles in the same state. A fleeting substance. Spectacular. But also very unstable.
How come it works then?
Not enough tests were run to explain that. The only sample ever found in space was researched inside a mobile base like your own. But it never made it back to Earth. It lasted long enough to demonstrate its amazing qualities, only to disintegrate somewhere between the Copernicus and the Hyades cluster.
So, you're afraid the rupidium I found might not withstand the journey?
I know it won't. That's why we came up with a special container for it. An Ark.
You mean like a box?
A hermetic module dedicated specifically to storing and transporting rupidium. We have blueprints for it. Lucas should send the necessary data over to you by the time we finish talking. Constructing a rupidium Ark should be your primary focus now.
Listen, you're very convincing, but I'm afraid I just won't have the time to do it. I need to find a way forward before the sun comes up.
You're losing faith easily. Look how far you've come. You survived the landing. You found rupidium. Then you branched yourself and managed to get the base moving. Would you really be happy with yourself if it all went to waste?
Waste? Wow. Is that what you consider saving my life?
Your life, my life. Let's face it, all it is a predetermined string of events distorted with myriads of random, meaningless decisions. We spend centuries looking for some kind of sense in it, some kind of meaningful pattern or recipe. Still, no satisfactory answer comes. Until, once in hundreds, maybe thousands of years, a chance appears to make a leap in our understanding of reality.
What can I say?
I don't know. But whatever you make of it, let me bare my soul to you. I think these are rare moments that matter. So, enough talking. Lucas said you had questions. Is there anything you'd like to ask me?
The branching procedure. There's a story there. Tell me.
It is something that has been tested long ago within Ally Corp. But for completely different reasons and, as you can imagine, in a much more rudimentary fashion.
Altering mind records? For whom?
I'm sorry, Jan. It's highly classified and I already told you too much. I think you deserve answers, but regarding this matter, like I said, things were tested, just for a while. Not much came of it. Now, I'd love to keep on chatting, but I really will need to be ending this call soon. Do you have any more questions?
What will happen to my alters when we get back?
I don't know. Yet. I don't need to tell you this is unprecedented. There are no good practices here, but I know one thing. You can trust me and Lucas completely. But if anyone else contacts you, it's absolutely vital you don't tell them anything about the existence of the alters.
What? Why?
You know very well why, Jan. The law has been violated.
I thought Lucas said the branching was authorized.
You haven't been listening. There are no procedures for this sort of situation. There is no one who can officially authorize such an act. At the end of the day, it was your decision to branch yourself. It will be in your best interest to keep that in mind when considering the consequences.
I don't like the sound of this.
We will come back to it later, I'm sure. Right now, I'll have to leave you shortly. Is there anything else?
Do you know what happened to my crew?
Lucas showed me the records. I have a theory, but it's more of a hunch. I don't have any hard proof to support it.
What is it?
Well, I think it might have been the quantum processing unit that killed them.
What? But that's... No, that's crazy.
Do you read detective stories, Jan? The culprit always needs to have two things. A motive and a means. Well, it certainly had a means to do it.
But why?
Like I said, it's just a hunch. I'm afraid I won't have much more time for now, Jan. Do you have any other questions?
No. I'm good.
Rapidium Arc, Jan. That's what you should focus on right now. Your secret is safe with me and Lucas. Once you come back with a remedy for Earth's ailments, nobody will think of punishing you for how you got it. Remember, just do the right thing. Now, I really have to go, but it was a pleasure talking to you, and we will talk more, I promise. Until then.
The following steps must be attended for. Refueling the base.
You look hurt. What happened? Are you blind? I got too much radiation exposure. I feel awful. Hey, maybe you'll turn into a superhero. Yeah, the glowing barf, man. Wouldn't you love that? For now, just remember to keep the radiation barrier on, okay? Radiation filters will speed up my recovery. At least when I'm inside. loose rocks look like they might be passable. If only I had a tool to drill through them. Hey there, buddy. How do you feel? Oh, been better, that's for sure. What is this place? And shit. Who are you? Don't worry, not an illusion. There's a perfectly rational explanation to this. Just let me ask you some control questions first, okay? Sure. Fire away. Do you remember your name? Yeah. Jan. Dolsky. And what's your role on this mission? I'm a refinery operator. Oh, you look like me, but also not like me. Are we brothers or something? We have the same DNA, but we led separate lives. So, in a way, you could say so. In a way? Whatever you're trying to tell me, stop beating around the bush, okay? All right then. You're my alter. I created you with the use of Rapidium. Rapidium? Yeah. We did it. It's here. Wow. You hear that, Ben? Ben? What Ben? Huh? Oh, never mind. Hey, wait. What was that you said about creating me? Look, you've obviously still not recovered from the shock. Why don't you rest a little and read the mission logs? They'll put it in perspective. We can talk more when the meds wear off. The meds. Yeah, that explains a lot. Not everything, but I feel like there's something more to this feeling of being so light, weak, you know? Just relax and take it slow. You'll feel stronger in no time. Okay, yeah. Maybe. And hell, I can't wait to see Rapidium. You will soon. I promise. Hey, how are you feeling? Well, I'll be damned. You okay? Surprisingly okay. Especially considering what I'm seeing. Very clearly. Good. Do you, remember your name? Of course. But... I think you know perfectly well who I am. So let's not waste time. Just tell me, how much did you find? What? How much rupidium is there? Did we get a breakthrough? Yeah, you bet. There's a lot of it. Good. That's good. Wait, how do you know? Well, isn't it obvious? I wake up seeing someone who looks and sounds like me, which has to mean we share the same DNA. Then there's the glasses. What about them? They're fake. Probably just manufactured to make me feel more like myself, but completely unnecessary otherwise, because here I am with perfectly good eyesight in the womb module, which can only lead to one conclusion: that my body was created to replicate someone who doesn't wear glasses. You. And to do that, of course, you would need to have found rupidium. Besides, I can see no other explanation for a sheep inside a space base. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wow, you're right. That's impressive. I did create you out of my DNA. We're not identical, of course. I can see you're not as quick to process information, and that's the interesting part. Yeah, our bodies are the same, but our minds are not. I needed a scientist on board, but there's always a scientist on board. So, what went wrong? The old crew is gone. They're all dead. That's why I needed to alter myself into different versions. With the use of the quantum computer on board and something called mind records. Oh, I see. A recalculated mind based on an infinite amount of variables to contain the desired consciousness in a biological vessel. That actually sounds plausible. So, what do you need from me now? Why don't you rest a little? Get accustomed to the new reality? Which part of what I just said makes you think I'm not ready to start immediately? Well, in that case, your situation must be critical considering the lengths you went to. Something tells me there's no time to lose. You're right. Why don't you start with going through the mission logs? I need to get the full picture first. My thoughts exactly. Good. This might work. So, had enough time to come to terms with the situation? I'm fine, thanks. There's not much that can bring me down. but I still feel much weaker than usual. Funny, earlier today I tried to lift a container and I couldn't. I'd blame it on the container. They keep making them heavier, if you ask me. Yeah, nice tactics, but I'm serious here. Operating the refinery requires stamina. I feel like I'll need to put on at least 15 pounds. Lose the, excess fat here and there. Being strong seems to matter a lot to you. A little extra confidence never hurt anyone. Not that it was ever my priority. I just like the physical activity. It helped clear my head of problems. Your problems are gone here. It's a chance to wipe the slate clean. Maybe, but I still can't get my head around one thing. What's that? Like, if everything that happened to me isn't true, then does that apply to the people I knew too? I mean, do they exist, but in some different version as well? I have no idea. This quantum mess-up is really confusing for me as well. Yeah, but theoretically, it's not impossible for someone who, for example, would be dead in my mind to actually still be alive? Theoretically? Totally. Theoretically, everything's possible. That's overwhelming. Shit, I think I need to get my mind on something else. Good idea. Focus on the work. We still have a lot to do before we get out of here. Right. Work. Sure. See you around then. This now? Looks like I'm done. Should I go there next?
Hey, what's this? It's triggering the alert in my suit. I need to learn more about this thing.
Now I'm even happier. Can't get rid of you. I found something peculiar on the planet. What exactly was peculiar about it? Everything. It was like a local distortion of reality. And it seemed to be emitting strong radiation. Yes. We could have expected to come across something like that sooner or later, according to reports from previous missions. Unidentified sources of radiation, unexplained electromagnetic field anomalies, distortions of matter, space, or even gravity. What are they? According to a bold theory fleshed out by Professor Frankov, they may be instances of the so-called interral. The what? Interral. In very simple terms, it's a non-coincidental superposition of potential universes. We don't know exactly why it occurs, but observations prove that under certain, not yet specified conditions, two or more parallel landscapes can coexist within a common quantum field, creating a so-called proximity plane. Whatever it is, doesn't sound like something I'd want to walk into again. Yes, it's fascinating, but it can be dangerous. If, and I stress if, Professor Frankov's intuition is right, then the distortion you have encountered could have been a puncture point, the spot where the proximity plane intersects with our observed universe, subverting its physical balance and distorting the rules of Newtonian mechanics. We need to learn more about these peculiarities. Inform me at once if you come across another one. I can see that you're angry. Just leave me alone. Come on, let me help. What do you usually do when you feel like this? I don't know. Go to a bar, I guess. Nothing better than a bottle of cheap, lukewarm beer, am I right? If you work hard, you gotta party hard, right? You know it. So, how are you? Settling in all right? Settling in is overrated. I analyze reality from wherever I am, however uncomfortable the angle. There's always an observation to be made. I'd love to hear what you managed to observe. This place is not run optimally. Yeah, I know. I wasn't trained to command a mission. But now that you're here, with your experience, I'd love to pick your brain. Do you think you could mentor me? Good thinking. First of all, you need to set long-term goals and draw up a roadmap for each of them. Remember to include all unpredictable variables in the equation. That way you can have contingency plans at the ready for each instance. All right, slow down. Prioritize resources. Do not waste time on idle conversations with the crew. Hide the booze. Don't be cheap on coffee. That slow enough for you? No way I'm dropping the booze. Don't you ever have fun? Oh, I do have fun. When I'm celebrating success. A situation that you're probably not familiar with. Truth is, I really wish we could make use of the tech I worked on for all these imaginary years. It would make things so much easier if it existed. So what exactly was your research about? Nanotech in space exploration. We went from a humble startup to making headlines in a few months. Taking our solutions to the front line was my dream come true. The data we could bring back. You had big plans for it. Well, now it's all gone. Turning it over in your head won't get you anywhere. You should focus on the work you need to do here and now. I never thought I'd say it, but yes, you're right. Let's get Rapidium back to Earth, and maybe later, we'll see. Hey, I found this. I brought it on this mission, but thought that maybe it could mean something to you too. Oh, interesting. A motivational hoodie. Motivational? More like demotivational. I only kept it because it's really comfy. Of course you did. It doesn't remind you of all that determination and ambition that fueled my academic success. Anyway, thanks. I appreciate it.